So there's a little controversy going around about Warm Mineral Springs here in the city of Northport. Hey friends, it's Noah, your favorite Northport real estate broker. In this video, we're switching it up a little bit. We're not talking about real estate, so to speak, about residential single-family houses here in Northport, but instead, we're going to be talking about development opportunities coming into the Northport area, especially around the Warm Mineral Springs, as this has been a highly controversial topic for some time now, and now it's really coming to light with news articles coming out and everything like that, so I wanted to share it with you guys as it is looking like it's actually going to happen, but there is still a lot of paperwork to go through and a lot of red tape to go through, but it is looking like everything is moving forward. The city is moving forward with these plans, so I want you guys to be up to date on what's happening and what's going to be changing with Warm Mineral Springs, as you may not already be a resident, but you're already maybe looking to move to the Northport area, as this could impact some of the commercial developments, the house opportunities, everything like that. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what Warm Mineral Springs is. We're going to be talking about some of the controversial plans that's going on between the city and the people of Northport. Also talking about how Warm Mineral Springs was destructed from Hurricane Ian, along with some of the true facts of going on about, what the people actually think about what's going to happen with Warm Mineral Springs and kind of what they want to happen versus what the city really wants to happen, right? So we're going to be referencing to this news article that came out where it states that the Northport Commission is going to start weighing in heavily more on the developments for Warm Mineral Springs. So if you guys don't know what Warm Mineral Springs is, Warm Mineral Springs is one of the largest natural mineral springs in the entire world, actually, and it stays around 85 to 87 degrees year round, right? So it's very, very warm. It gets up to 250 feet deep. However, there is a shallow end. There are some crevices down below. It's not just a straight tube that goes straight down into the water. There is a lot of different crevices and stuff like that with the Warm Mineral Springs. However, it is already roped off, where the shallow end is for swimming. Warm Mineral Springs has been actually registered on the U.S. Historic Places because of what was actually found and what the actual history of Warm Mineral Springs is. So, Warm Mineral Springs is, it dates back to over 10,000 years ago, right? So, we had the Ice Age, right? So actually, when there was exploratory dives that went down in 1950, 1960, somewhere around there. And actually, since there is such low oxygen down 250 feet deep or even 150 feet deep, these divers found human remains, prehistoric hunters in excellent condition just because of how cold it is down there, along with the low oxygen. And even so, there were remains of saber-toothed tigers, giant sloths, woolly mammoths, and even camels down in the Warm Mineral Springs, which is absolutely crazy. Coming from Wisconsin, like I've said to you guys on my YouTube videos many times, is I really didn't think Florida would be something that, a lot of, the focus of the Ice Age, for example, right? I didn't think that there would be woolly mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, giant sloths around here just because we are in a subtropical climate. However, during the Ice Age, the Florida climate was actually more like the South Carolina and the Carolina climate right now before it became subtropical, right? So there's a lot of history going around with Warm Mineral Springs. Warm Mineral Springs brings in over 150,000 resident or visitors every single year to the springs. Now, it has gone downhill over the past few years, as residents have stated. So that is why they're talking about doing these development opportunities here in Warm Mineral Springs, which would be bringing in hotels, commercial districts, along with single-family residences as well. So let's break this down. But first, before we jump into this article and talking to you about what's going on with this, let's first talk to you a little bit about where Warm Mineral Springs is located, right? So we're going to go to the map here and let's look at where Warm Mineral Springs is. So we're going to zoom out for you guys so you guys can get your bearings. So we have the state of Florida right here. So here's the state of Florida. Now let's zoom in. We are going to go by Sarasota, so Southwest Florida. We're going to keep scrolling in, go over to Northport. And then we're going to keep scrolling. So on the very west side of Northport, we have Warm Mineral Springs right here. So as you guys can see here, it is going to be a park. This is 83 acres. And so this is where they're going to be talking about the development opportunities for Warm Mineral Springs. So as we scroll in here, you guys see this. It's about an acre and a half, acre and a quarter, somewhere around there. That is the actual spring itself. But then as you guys can see, there is still a lot of trees, a lot of trails going through. through, and this is mainly where the development opportunities that they're talking about are actually going to go, right? Because when we look at this, so these plans, right? So for the city of Northport, they're talking about developing 61.4 acres of the land here dedicated for hotels and also single family residences. So they are looking to get a zoning of about 6 dwellings per acre, which would be about 359 homes total. And then they're also looking to include over 782,000 square feet of commercial development, commercial buildings. So shopping, stores, everything you name it, they're going to try doing that in Warm Mineral Springs. And then they're also talking about bringing in hotels into this area with a max height of 40 feet, which is about 3-story hotels, right? So obviously Warm Mineral Springs is a huge attraction from all across the world. So they are looking to bring in as many people as they possibly can. Where exactly do those people stay? Sure, Northport does have hotels. However, at the end of the day, it would be better for the city of Northport to have hotels on site for people to go walking to Warm Mineral Springs so they don't have to drive back and forth from their hotel to the springs itself. Because at the end of the day, the city of Northport said that they profit about $1 million profit per year from the springs, and they're looking really to increase that. So as we zoom in here, this is going to be the 61.4 acres that they are looking to be developing. They are looking to keep about 21.6 of those acres dedicated for the springs. So I just want to be clear is that these 21.6 acres are the acreage that has been maintained over the years. The other 61.4 acres has not been maintained by the city, as they have stated, as it is just used for wildlife, trees, and conservation stuff, right? So nothing is really going to be taken away from Warm Mineral Springs besides the trees and stuff like that over on this part of the park as well. So that's kind of what Warm Mineral Springs looks like in a nutshell. It looks like a big square, right? It looks like a rectangle. However, the biggest reason why they are now talking more and pushing more on the development side of the Warm Mineral Springs is because during Hurricane Ian, it was probably one of the biggest hurricanes that we've had in recent history in the Northport area. So it caused a lot of devastation, as you guys saw in my other YouTube videos. If you guys haven't go and see what the aftermath of Hurricane Ian looked like. But at the end of the day, the city of Northport earmarked $9 million to restore the historic buildings on the Warm Mineral Springs, along with just the park in general, restoring the 21.6 acres in general. However, that $9 million that they earmarked or estimated, that actually turned out in reality. They got quotes back from contractors. They've been searching around for cost alternatives, everything like that. But the lowest they have been able to get it is $18 million in complete fixes of the park. So that's significantly double of what the city of Northport earmarked for the reconstruction of the park. So I think that's very crucial to talk about, because at the end of the day, it's double, and we're talking in the millions. So they are looking for private partner equities to come in to help them and partner up together to restore this beautiful park. Because as residents have stated, it has gone downhill in the past, several months or even before Ian, right? So they really want to restore it back to its natural beauty. However, there is a few controversial things going on about that. And what I mean by that is, they still have to talk to the indigenous people before doing the construction or moving forward onto this development, as this was native land before, as this was burial grounds for the ancient human beings before us, right? So that's very crucial to talk about, as they're not sure if this park can sustain all this commercial development, right? So right now they have been put on pause, or people are putting them on pause, I should say, because they want to do the geographical studies, the geological studies, to make sure that this ground can actually be sustainable, as there is a giant hole that's 200 feet deep filled with water that they're going to be trying to build all around, right? So they're worried that it's not going to be able to hold up a hotel or other houses, that there may be other sinkholes in the area. So that is the biggest concern as of right now. So that is what they are looking to move forward on, is going to be getting all these surveys, getting all the geological stuff taken care of to make sure that it can hold, these 360 homes, the 783,000 square feet of commercial development, a 3-story hotel or multiple 3-story hotels. They want to make sure that this ground can hold it without it compromising the infrastructure of the properties. The other biggest concern with Warm Mineral Springs going on right now is the actual production flow. So if we scroll down of this article here, right? So to scroll down, we will find it right here. Okay, so this is important to note is that we're going to talk about, so the chairman of Myakka River Management Coordinating Council and the former director of the Environmental Studies program at the New College of Florida noted that the flow rate in the springs is now just a little over 5 cubic feet of water per second, right? However, that's considerably down from 1942 when it was 13 cubic feet per second. So the biggest thing is, Warm Mineral Springs is a naturally fed spring through a vent in the earth, right? However, the flow rate has gone down. It's gone down more than double than what it was in 1942, making it more stagnant, right? So the city is worried about that, and people are worried about the commercial development coming in, how that's going to actually affect the remaining, the flow, as it has dropped significantly since 1942. People are just worried once commercial development comes in, how that is going to disrupt the ground underneath, causing the flow to basically get destroyed. They don't want that park or the water to become stagnant if something collapses and there's no more water that seeps up through there. They're worried that it is going to become stagnant water. So that is one of the biggest concerns right now, is making sure that the hydrographic studies come out good, the geographical studies come out good as well. So there is a lot of new things to be coming, along with, not only are they talking about proposing these new development opportunities for Warm Mineral Springs, but they're actually talking about possible changes to Northport Estates. And what I mean by that is they haven't spoke too much about that, but they're talking about doing mixed zoning, right? Which is interesting because Warm Mineral Springs is down here and Northport Estates is up here, as you guys can see. So this can be an interesting thing to hear about, as they are talking about proposing mixed use development, like we were talking commercial, residential, multifamily, everything like that, right? So they are talking about proposing mixed use in Northport Estates. I'm not exactly sure how well that is going to go over. I know that a lot of people, Northport does struggle on having multifamily housing, which I think is a big challenge for Northport. However, they may be proposing, now I'm not saying this for certain, but in this news article, they did say that Northport is considering, mixed use zoning for Northport Estates. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out, as Northport Estates is more 3+ acres. It's more for single family houses that are supposed to have acreage, right? So there are a lot of developments happening into this area, and I'll keep you guys updated on exactly what's going on with Warm Mineral Springs as it happens. But as of right now, they are looking to get moving forward on this, as they do need a private equity partner to fix up and restore Warm Mineral Springs, along with bringing in the commercial development that they have been talking about. However, there is a lot of studies, a lot of surveys that need to be done, as well as referencing to the public of what their opinion is on this commercial development. But now that you guys know a little bit more about what's happening here with Warm Mineral Springs, are you still interested in moving to the Northport area? Do you want to buy closer to Warm Mineral Springs with this possible development coming in? As it may, I'm not going to say it will, but it may bring up home values. We can't predict. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know if it's going to go left, right, up, down. We don't know where the prices are going to go. But at the end of the day, commercial development, residential development also follows higher prices as well. So that's going to be very interesting to follow along with as this time goes on. But once again, guys, thank you very much for checking out this video. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys are looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, we have a buyer's guide dedicated for the city of Northport, talking about the best things to do, the current hotels to stay at, the best restaurants, top 10 things to do, and so much more. So if you guys want to go and check that out from a perspective of a Northport resident, it's 100% free to grab. The link is down in the description down below. And if you guys are looking for new construction here in the Northport area, I am, working with a lot of builders all across Northport, gathering up their off-market inventory to collaborate and put it into one centralized location. So if you guys want to look at off-market new construction properties that have not yet hit the market and you're not going to be worrying about fighting with other buyers, definitely go and check out and join our 100% free VIP list. So go and check that out. Link is down in the description down below. But once again, guys, thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will catch you guys all next week.